Lights, camera, action. Greetings. I'm Curtis Halton, Director of Continuing Education at Atlanta Technical College. I'm excited to shine the spotlight on Georgia's booming production industry and ATC's role in filling ever-growing need for professionals working in this growing creative space. From major silver screen blockbusters to binge-worthy streaming series, Georgia has become known as the Hollywood of the South and the backdrop for some of our favorite shows, making our state one of the highly sought-after locations for film and television production in the nation. The Georgia Film Academy is a collaboration of the University System of Georgia and the Technical College System of Georgia, created to meet education and workforce needs for high-demand careers in Georgia's film and creative industry. This incredible program that's offered right here at Atlanta Technical College offers rigorous professional training opportunities for in-demand occupations that anchor these major productions. Let's hear from today's guest on how the Georgia Film Academy is playing an instrumental role in getting individuals camera ready as they look to break into this flourishing industry.
Welcome to Atlanta Tech Talks, where we highlight the college's people, partnerships, collaborations, and programs that help move Atlanta and our surrounding communities forward. I'm your host, Antonio Hicks, and we're excited to have you along on this journey. In today's discussion, Lights, Cameras, Action, I welcome Kate McArdle of Georgia Film Academy, one of ATC's strategic partners. Welcome, Kate.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of our new digital adventure.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Now, I know I'm going to jump a little bit outside the topic for today. So what brought you here from California and getting involved with the film industry?
After I graduated from college, I moved to Los Angeles to work in the film industry because I studied film and television in college. Okay. And so I got a job as a baby assistant to an agent, a talent agent, which is a really good place for people to start because you get to understand everything about the industry. The buyers, the sellers, the actors, the writers, et cetera. And then I made my way up the industry ladder for a long time, for 25 years, and worked as an executive at TriStar Pictures, worked for Michael Douglas, the actor, worked for Aaron Spelling, had a lot of different jobs. And then at some point I decided, there aren't a lot of older women running the business, and I was looking for an opportunity to do something else. So I started offering my services to some colleges for their students to advise them on how to get jobs and how to get internships in the industry. And that led to a full-time job at Columbia College. And then I saw an advertisement for the newly minted Georgia Film Academy. And the requirements for the job were somebody must have had at least 10 years of experience in the entertainment industry as an executive, plus at least 3 years of experience at a higher education college. And I was like, wait a minute, that would be me. So I applied for the job. They flew me to Atlanta. I interviewed with a ton of people, and they offered me the job. And now I've been here 6 years running I'm the director of film workforce development, so that means I run the internship program for the students and also career advising and finding jobs.
Okay. So as you can see, we're about to roll out the red carpet for you all with our Lights, Camera, Action packed segment of ATL Talks. You might have heard that Georgia is the new Hollywood of the South. Well, we have that catalyst to that movement right here with Kate. And that's okay. Can I call you Kate?
You may call me Kate.
So talk to us about what it's like to be connected to some of the world's biggest motion pictures and television series.
Well, it's exciting. It's such a dynamic business. I mean, I think we're almost number one in shooting locations in the United States now. It's a $4 billion industry here in Georgia. So it's not only the celebrities and the major studios and the television networks that make it exciting, but it's all the trickle-down effect of other kinds of jobs that for Georgians, vendor companies, those are the companies that supply the goods and services for the industry. So renting trucks, renting lighting equipment, grip equipment, et cetera, there's all kinds of things that I think makes it even more exciting than the celebrity aspect.
Absolutely, because there are a lot of jobs to be offered within the film industry. A lot of people don't know anything about.
That's right. And I think a lot of people see the studios everywhere. I mean, you're close to Tyler Perry, you're close to Screen Gems, EUE Screen Gems. When I came here today, I went the back way. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about EUE Screen Gems. It's right around the corner from you. So there's lots and lots of studios, and lots of people say, wait a minute, how do you get a job on a studio lot? And they don't really know how it actually works, how you get a job on a film or a TV show versus how do you work in facilities on a lot. So there's a lot of different aspects to it.
Okay. So one of the things that we've heard is that Hollywood has a tendency of bringing staff members from Hollywood rather than hiring in Georgia itself. How will Georgia Film Academy alignment with ATC help to change that narrative and get more Georgia residents connected to the industry?
Okay, it's a good question, and that was the reason the Georgia Film Academy was started to begin with. Okay. The former governor said, wait a minute, all these companies are coming here taking advantage of our tax incentives, and they're not hiring Georgians because there weren't enough Georgians really well trained in a lot of what are called the below-the-line crafts.
Right.
So those are grips and lighting technicians and art department and set deck and props and all of those things. So he said, we've got to fix that problem. Let's put some money behind creating the Georgia Film Academy. Mm-hmm. And we created this curriculum that helps to train people and place them onto films and TV shows for their training. The one thing that's great about Atlanta Technical College is that they've been a partner of ours for a very long time. Mm-hmm. And it's a very diverse body of students and diversity in a lot of ways. But one of the things that's most important to me is the diversity in ages. The people who come here are not necessarily only 18-year-old college students. Mm-hmm. They range in age, and they have a willingness and a desire to go to work, which is a little bit different than some of our other partner schools, which are fantastic schools, but they're students that are going to be there for 4 and 5 and 6 years, right, however long it takes them to finish. So they're not looking to get on a set and go to work. And I have found that when I have students from ATC, they're fantastic. They're very dedicated to going to work, learning the craft and going to work.
Okay. So why was Georgia Film Academy's partnership with ATC and the technical school system of Georgia so important?
Well, for that,
you kindly just mentioned that.
Yeah, for that very reason, it's a broader reach into the communities in Georgia. There's a lot of places that have technical colleges, and there's a lot of people who want training but don't necessarily want to get a 4-year degree or a master's degree, or maybe they've already been to college a long time ago and they're interested in relearning some things that they might have forgotten or learning new things and going to work. Because the industry is so big here, it's a shining star for a lot of people. So the partnership the technical college partnership is really important because it reaches into all of those places and gives people an opportunity who might not have had an opportunity before to, touch the hem of the gown, so to speak. So that's why I think the technical colleges are really important to our partnership.
Okay. So this is a question every potential student wants to know. What do they need to do to prepare for a career in the film industry? And it was one I was getting ready to ask you myself as well, too.
Oh, well, it helps to take our classes because then you learn the intro class, you learn the overview of what is a movie set, what happens on it, what are all the different departments, what do they do, what's walkie-talkie protocol, what is set protocol, what all of those things, so you don't walk onto a set and look like a deer in headlights, basically. Mm-hmm. So that's the primer, the basics, but then you can drill down into areas that you might find some interest in, like I was talking about before. You can learn about being a grip, you can learn lighting, you can learn set construction and scenic painting, makeup, special effects, and so on and so forth. So I think the first step, besides having an interest and passion, right, is to drill down into some area. I find that when my students say to somebody, well, I'm willing to do anything, that's not a very good answer.
No.
Because it makes the person on the other end have to do the work for you.
Right.
So you have to do the work of it yourself. It's not to say you can't switch lanes, or decide you might want to do something different, but become a little bit of an expert in some area. Then you're valuable to people. So I say for the students to prepare, they should take the classes, right, and take other classes at ATC or wherever they're are offered, so they can know a lot, and then make really good grades, and then apply to get into the internship, because what the Georgia Film Academy offers Atlanta Technical College students is the opportunity to get on a set. So if you get into the internship after taking your required other classes, right, then I will place you on Black Panther 2, on Creed 3, on Walking Dead, on Tyler Perry Studios projects. That's really where the rubber meets the road. That's really where you learn. Right?
Yeah.
Because you're going to be working under union heads of departments, and you're going to have a rudimentary knowledge, and you're going to have a passion. The other thing is be willing to work really hard. You're going to work 16-hour days
long
sometimes,
days,
and you're going to be on your feet the whole time. And you're not going to be able to sit down and be on your phone. that sounds so
No.
simple, but you have to really be willing to do the physical work of it. I mean, not every job is that, but almost every job on a physical set is going to be a physical job like that. So you have to be willing to do what it takes.
Yeah, my wife, she works in the film industry. She works as a script supervisor.
Right.
And she works those 14, 15-hour days.
Yes, and that's a challenging job because the attention to detail you have to have as a script supervisor, you have to be watching every single thing,
Yes.
continuity and right next to the director and all of that stuff. So yeah, you have to be, and some students thrive. Many of my students, once they get done with their time on a set, get hired on. A lot of Atlanta Technical College students have careers now because of that. If you get on a set and you do a really good job in the 30 days that you're on the set for your internship, often if there's enough money and time on the show, people say, hey, I want you to stay.
Yeah.
And they'll help you get into the union and you're on your way.
Yeah, because I've seen instances where they have been on set, and if they like what you're doing, they invite you over to other sets or projects
That
they're
is
working
exactly how it works, because the other thing is it's an industry of relationships. I know people say that about a lot of industries, but if you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, an Indian chief, a chef, whatever it is, there's usually a path, a prescribed academic path and a job path. The industry, the way that you get in is by hard work, but the way that you keep getting jobs is by building relationships, because people want to work with people they trust and people they like, basically.
So I guess in conjunction with that same question, how lucrative can it be with somebody to work on those sets?
Very. In the beginning, it's challenging because it's long days. If you're a day player, meaning someone just hires you to come in for a day or two to fill in on stuff, you can make $200 for a 12-hour day, something like that, $225 for a 12-hour day. If you're hired on as a PA, you can make $1,200 a week, something like that, as a PA on a show. If you work regularly after the first couple of years, you can make average $85,000 a year, $90,000 a year if you work regularly.
Yeah, they can get paid working on sets.
Yeah, but it's a freelance job. That's another thing people have to understand. It is not a 9 to 5. You get hired and then you go to the same place every day kind of job.
Right.
You're on a show for a period of time, and while you're on a show, you're thinking about what your next job's going to be. So you're always having to be prepared and be looking for your next opportunity until you reach a certain level of competence and people know you in the industry, and then you get calls all the time. There are literally not enough people working in Georgia right now who are available to do these jobs.
Right, and I was going to say that's the excitement that comes along with it too, because like a lot of us that works regular 9 to 5 jobs, we might get bored or upset with our manager, but this career, you can have different routines and sets that you're working on, so it's always exciting and something brand new.
That's
close to
right.
you.
That's right. And we want to educate people and train them so that they'll stay in Georgia and work in Georgia, but there's also opportunities to travel around the world with some of these jobs. I have a student who came out of the technical college system, and he was a GRIP, an intern in the GRIP department, and then he got promoted, and then he joined the union, and he has not stopped working in the past 5 years. And they called him and his team to go to New Orleans because they didn't have enough qualified people to do the job, and it was on a Marvel movie.
Oh, wow.
And they flew him to New Orleans, and they did the gig, and then he came back.
Okay. So before we close out, can you leave us with an Atlanta Tech Talk success tip?
Well, I an Atlanta student.
Yeah, just a success tip.
I mean, I think there's a lot of those stories. I don't have a particular student in mind. I'm sorry, I should have come to you with a name.
No,
of
not a
person.
student, just a success tip that you can give to a student.
This is the success stories are like the student I just told you about. There's a lot of Atlanta Tech students who have been assigned to a major motion picture, and when that show was done, they got hired on and continued on. We had somebody on Black Panther do that. We've had somebody, like I said, at Tyler Perry Studios, on The Walking Dead. We've had a couple of former ATC students work on that show before it ended and get hired on. So there's a lot of success from the body of students at ATC.
Okay. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you to our special guest, Kate McArdle of Georgia Film Academy. For more information about Atlanta Technical College, please visit www.atlantatech.edu. I'm your host, Antonio Hicks, and this has been Atlanta Tech Talks.